So Venkat, why should end users and business units work with IT? What's their motivation for doing so?
Well, a lot of it is, if you look at this process, many times, if end users bypass the process and don't work with IT, they find out sooner rather than later that they do need IT support. They need IT support for a variety of reasons, whether it be integrating with other existing systems, whether it be for incident management, support, performance management, any kind of firefighting. Really, IT's help is needed sooner rather than later. So it really behooves these business units to want to work with IT, get them involved sooner, so they are really working like true partners rather than putting IT on the offensive or on the reactive aspect. Now, when you look at this whole process, IT has to make it easy for these end users to want to work with IT. That's what it boils down to. So with SelectHub, they really have the means to make that happen. What I mean by that is, SelectHub has a couple of capabilities. Just to give you an example, why it would be very interesting for end users to want to work with SelectHub and by definition with IT. And for example, one would be in the templates, the requirements templates. When normally a couple of these business unit end users come together, they talk about 4 or 5 things that they need to see in a solution. They put those in, but maybe there are 50 other things that they should be looking at that they didn't have any awareness of.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that SelectHub helps them is when they create a project, they start putting in requirements, they could have access to certain templates in that software category that gives them those 50, 80 different things that their peers in the industry have looked at. Best practices have dictated that they look at those things as well. Now, they don't have to look at all 50 or 80, but they can choose to get a handful of those to enrich what they already have. So that's one example where time saving is key. So to compile all these requirements on their own, we are talking about hundreds of hours of end user time. And with SelectHub, that happens in minutes and hours. They can go through this list, decide what makes sense, and that may even spur additional ideas, more creativity, and really that's what makes a project successful, identifying all the requirements upfront. So that's one area. Another example I would like to give is vendor research. When you look at the plethora of vendors out there, you find dozens and dozens of vendors, and there's a lot of time involved on the end user part to research all these vendors and figure out who has the best solution. And a lot of it could be informal inquiries, a lot of it could be RFIs and RFPs. So getting all that to happen seamlessly as part of the project and being able to import your requirements, being able to look at vendor ratings and reviews from the community, being able to piece all that together, we are talking all of those things happening in days rather than weeks and months. So those are the key reasons why end users would have motivation to use SelectHub and work with IT, because now IT can scale and go with them from a time to market standpoint.